Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome to How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind for Success, Health, Wealth, and Happiness. I am your somewhat crazy and erratic host, Dr. David Snyder, and I want to welcome you to what I hope will and sincerely believe will be some of the most important few hours of your life. If you actually take the steps we're going to share with you in this webinar, you will tap into the master keys to transforming your life from the inside out. During this webinar, we're going to teach you some of the most powerful but simple and easy to use ways to begin clearing your crap and putting the stuff into your mind, body, and spirit that you really want. We're going to teach you how to reprogram that subconscious mind, remove blocks to your success, get rid of limiting or negative emotions, sometimes forever, actually usually forever, but you got to remember there's a little bit more to it than that. How to program your mind for unlimited success, right? Before we get into today's content, I do want to just kind of go through some basic housekeeping stuff, as is our tradition. BJ is asking how long this presentation is. Our presentations usually run about 2.5 to 3 hours. Our program is what we call a free-form webinar format. The free-form webinar format is designed specifically to deliver very solid, powerful, experiential, and actionable techniques that you can take out into the world right away. Okay, so the first part one of the webinar, we usually teach in 3 parts. So part one of the webinar is where we go through administration, how to get your questions answered. We give you the basic foundations for how to apply the principles that you're going to be using. During that, we're going to give you some experiences that you're going to go through. You're going to experience things, and you're going to learn. You're going to come away with techniques you can use. In part 2 of the webinar, we're going to show you how to take it to the next level. We put together a training opportunity, a package that you might want to consider upgrading to if you're really serious about moving forward in your life. It's going to take about 35-40 minutes to explain that. Then we go into part 3 of the webinar. The webinar part 3 is going to be where we circle back to part 1 and we begin to customize the content of tonight's webinar to specifically what the people online tonight want to know about, whether it's clearing more crap out of your life, whether it's programming your mind like a GPS for ongoing success, whether it's learning to understand yourself better, getting rid of emotions that are keeping you stuck, whatever it is, right? We're going to customize the content. We're going to build on the foundations in part 1 and keep going until you come away with a solid toolkit of techniques that you can begin to apply. Okay? So that being said, a couple of other things. A, I know you're going to have questions. Perfect. Questions are great. I love questions. Anybody who's been around Planet David long enough knows I love questions, right? Problem is, we have 3 hours, and if this is the scope of everything there is to know about how to reprogram the subconscious mind, we've got time for this. Okay? So here's my commitment to you on tonight's webinar. For those of you who are willing to stick it out, to go through all the processes, follow the instructions, obey the commands, to get the maximum bang for your buck, I will take you as far down the rabbit hole of how to reprogram your mind, body, and soul for success as humanly possible, and I will point you in the direction of where to go to take the next step. Is that a fair trade? If you feel that's a fair trade, type "that's fair." I'm up for that in the webinar or in the chat for me. Okay. We're streaming to 2 platforms simultaneously. Obviously we're coming in through our Zoom platform, but we're also live streaming to our YouTube. So say hello, everybody wave to our YouTube family. YouTube family, wave hello to our Zoom family. One of the things that we need to understand is that there is a slight streaming delay from the Zoom platform to the YouTube platform. So the chats from both are in real time. So if you type something in YouTube, I'm going to see it in real time. If you type something in Zoom, I'm going to see it in real time. Here's the problem. I have 2 chats going at the same time. There's close to 100 people on or more asking questions at the same time. So there's a good probability that I will not see your question. If I do see your question, okay, and it's relevant to the section of the webinar that we are at, then I will answer it. If it is not relevant or it's going to distract us from where we're going, then there's 2 other ways for you to get your questions answered. A, I have new people. If you're brand new to Planet David, type brand new, where you're checking in from, and your name, so everybody can say hi to you. right? If you're a veteran of Planet David, if you've been using our technologies or practicing and putting our techniques into application in the real world for 3, 4, 5, 6 months or longer, years, type how long you've been in Planet David, what you've used, how it's worked for you, and where you're checking in from. Because for those of you who have experience with these techniques, you are going to be my assistants today. I'm going to ask you, if you see a question in the chat box that I don't see or I don't answer, but you have experience with that technique and you've used it effectively out in the real world. If you see a question in the chat box, please reach out to that person through the chat and answer it for them. Okay, that's the second way to get your questions answered. The third way is the one a lot of people seem to like as well, and that is at the end of this webinar there will be a replay. For sure there will be a replay. YouTube automatically processes this video, puts it out there for people to watch at their convenience. When that video goes live, there's going to be a comment section below the video. All you need to do is type your question in the comment section below this video. And I actually review those comments every day, 3 or 4 times a day for a while, couple weeks at least. And I will go in and I will systematically answer the questions as best that I can that you've posted in the chat. Okay, so you've got 3 ways to get your questions answered. Ask me directly and keep asking until I either notice it or you get the feeling that it's just going to take us away. Ask the question and allow some of our veterans to answer it. And finally, go to the comment section of the replay of this video, ask your question, and we will get an answer. We got a lot of new people. This is really cool. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Okay, so here's my standard disclaimer. If politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is probably not the best use of your next 2.5 to 3 hours. However, if you're fed up with the status quo, if you're tired of getting the same results over and over again, and you want something better, if you're ready to make a change and you're ready to actually do something new and fun and interesting, I'm going to share with you some of the most powerful ways to do that. You're in the right place. Okay? So, what I often ask though, and what a lot of people often say is, well, who the hell is Dr. David Snyder and why should I care? Right? Well, first and foremost, I am an actual doctor of acupuncture and Oriental medicine. And this is a copy of my diploma from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I've been a practicing and licensed acupuncturist since 2005. And my specialty in my clinic has been healing and treating physiological illness that is due to repressed emotion, which, by the way, is just about every sickness on the planet has some kind of an emotional component. So we've seen everything clinically from, out of control herpes cases to chronic constipation to rape trauma, domestic abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder, terminal cancer, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, asthma, allergies, COPD. All of them that we've worked with has had some kind of an emotional foundation. And when we treated the emotional foundation, the symptoms subsided to almost nothing or went away completely. Okay? But I'm also a certified trainer and master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming. What you see here is my award from globalgurus.org. In 2020, I was named the #1 NLP trainer in the world by globalgurus.org. I've been in the top 2 slots in terms of NLP for the last 5 or 6 years. As I think about it, yeah, probably longer. And so I've authored over 15 different products on various forms of human influence. Everything ranging from how to reprogram your subconscious mind to conversation hypnosis, covert hypnosis, body language skills, vibrational hypnotherapy, the law of attraction. If it has to do with influencing the mind, body, and the universe, this is what I do. I'm an expert in human hypnotic influence techniques or influence technologies. That's what we do. And my last brag, and the reason I say this is because some of what you're going to be learning is actually going to come from this particular course. What you see here is a letter from globalgurus.org, and it says, "Dear Dr. David, it is with great pleasure to announce that your training program, Killer Influence, has been chosen by global peers and ranked as the #1 best program in the world for NLP, aka Neuro-Linguistic Programming." And if you click this little link, it takes you to this page, and you can see all the courses that we beat out. And this is for 2020, but we also got one for 2022. We were named it. We did it twice, almost 4 or 3 years in a row now. So I'm really proud of that. And some of what you're going to be learning is actually drawn from this particular course and integrated with other things. So last but not least, and this is again where, and I'll connect all these dots for you in just a minute. I've been a lifelong martial artist. I do have a 10th degree black belt in Okinawan karate. I have a 4th degree black belt in Shaolin Kun Tao, 2nd degree black belt in Kosho Kempo Ryu, 1st degree black belt in Fankuru Jiu Jitsu, certified instructor in Combat Sistema, Cinco Mano Eskrima, and Modern Arnisa. I'm a basic instructor in that system. I've studied with the founder. I've been very proud of that one basic certification for many years. And I've probably got more energy healing credentials than McDonald's sells hamburgers. I've been a Reiki master teacher since the early 90s, since before Reiki was cool. I have degrees in advanced pranic healing and pranic psychotherapy. I'm an advanced DNA theta healer. I'm certified in the Bengston energy healing system. I've been doing Qigong, Kabbalah, and Hermetics since before Madonna discovered Kabbalah. So I'm very much a pre-Madonna. And you may be asking, as I go through this incredible laundry list of stuff, so what? Why is this important? What do all these things have in common? Well, it's the things they have in common that are really important, and this is why you need to understand it as well. State control and pattern recognition. You see, everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. But what most people don't understand is that our feelings actually have a structure to them. There's a process by which you can control your emotions and your states, and as a byproduct of that state control, you can begin to reprogram your neurology for better results, to process the information around you in more useful and resourceful ways. And the way we find these things is through the second piece, pattern recognition. Everything human beings do has a structure. It has a pattern. And when you can recognize and understand that pattern, you can predict what's going to happen next. Not only can you predict what's going to happen next, you can influence what's going to happen next. So most of the disciplines that I've studied over the years come down to these two basic ideas. How do you access the right states, and what is the structure of that process that allows you to change what you've been doing as an ingrained pattern? That's why when you look at these things, what do all these things have to do with success, health, wealth, and happiness? Well, guys, pretty much everything. Okay? And that's where we're going to start today. So, let me go back to stop sharing here. So let's make sure we're in the right place. I want you to stop for a moment. I want you to ask yourself a question now. And this question is very, very important. I want you to ask yourself this question out loud. And this is going to be your first writing exercise. Ask yourself the question, why do I need this? In other words, you know why you decided to jump on this webinar today. Why do you need it? Right? You don't have to type it in the chat. We'll get to that part later. But I want you to get out your pen and your paper. Write this question, why do I need this, at the top of that sheet? Right? And I want you to pay attention to the very first thing that comes to the top of your mind, the very first thing that pops into your head. Your reason why. You know, a lot of speakers and success coaches talk about finding your why. Well, finding your why is a great start, and that's what we're doing now. But it's not the end all by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so take a moment, write down why I need this, the information on this webinar, and write it out. Okay. Just write it out, and when you're done, type "done" in the chat so I know that you're with us. Helps if I hit the record button, doesn't it? Good thing that YouTube streams for us. All right. Done. Okay, good. Karen's done. Good. Jetta, continue my training. Okay. You can share it with if you want, but again, this is your private stuff. Now, this is one of the coolest things about the techniques that we're going to play with as we go through the content of the webinar is, if you're a therapist, a coach, someone who helps people get their shit together for a living, the best part about these techniques is they're extraordinarily powerful. They integrate every level of the mind and body and soul, and they require you as a coach or therapist to have almost no information about the client. The client, because one of the things you're going to learn if you're doing this with others is that a lot of times people are very, very, very embarrassed or feel shame about the things that they're trying to clear, right? And they don't want to share that. They don't want to tell you about it. And for a lot of people who are coming from a classical psychology or psychotherapy background, if you can't get the person to talk about it, you can't help them. With these techniques, you can do them completely blind. In other words, you don't need to know what's going on in their head to make them work, because it approaches the whole idea of how we create this stuff and how it controls us very, very differently. And so there's a huge advantage to this, in that you don't need to get bogged down in other people's crap, and you don't have to share things that you feel really bad about yourself or feel you're going to be judged for. Okay? So we're good with this? Okay, good. So put that to the side for now, and see if any of these things fit what you just wrote. How many of you, just type "that's me" in the chat, would like to become more attractive to the opposite sex? Anybody here want to be able to make them find you more charming and irresistible and fascinating? Would that be something that you think programming your mind to do would be useful? Cool. How about to remove fear and insecurity from your life forever? What if you could just put a dead stop halt to everything that makes you afraid the moment you notice it, the moment you sense it? Would that be useful? Radiate more confidence? Would you like that? Would you like to attract more money? Would you like to be the person who deserves to have more money? Maybe book more clients for your business. Take your current business to the next level. Stay tuned. If you'd like to protect yourself, anybody here want to protect themselves from people who are going to manipulate them and push your buttons? Would you like to be able to handle and have more ability to deal with difficult people? Type that in the chat if it's something you want, right? And again, don't be bashful if everything I'm saying you hit a yes for. This means you're in the right place, right? If you'd like to have the ability to program yourself to create massive financial abundance, right? Surround yourself with true and trustworthy and loyal friends. Type yes in the chat, right? That's where we're going, okay? So, here's my personal promise to you. Let me share my screen again. If you stay until the end of today's webinar, I will share with you the fastest, most powerful, and direct way to reprogram your subconscious mind and body for unlimited success, health, wealth, and happiness. I've been doing this stuff close to 20 years now in terms of the new technologies that I'm teaching, and we haven't found a limit to it yet. The techniques seem to just keep getting more and more powerful as time goes on. Okay? We're going to show you how to put a dead stop halt to procrastination and get your mind and body taking action right away. We'll show you how to remove those blocks to success and get yourself on the fast track to the kind of life you want to have by your standards and your definitions. We're going to teach you how to get rid of negative emotions like fear and pain, to dissolve and eliminate limiting beliefs and change them to beliefs that empower you. And finally, as a byproduct of this webinar, you're going to get the exact steps that you need to go from interesting information to maximum transformation in minimum time. Okay? So, how are we going to do that? Let's start with today's agenda. We're going to talk about the two most important factors for success. It's not what you think, or maybe it is. We'll touch on the rules of the mind, the ones they didn't tell you about in books like The Secret, and movies like The Secret, and stuff like that. We'll talk about body-centered energy psychology, right? How your system really works and how to use it, right? We're going to we'll talk about how to program your future and clear your past, so that you get the stuff out of the way that needs getting out, and you program your future in your mind like a GPS, taking you where you want to go. Ultimately, everything's going to lead to this one thing that we all want, and that's the ability to take control, to take charge, to move forward and get you the life you want, the way you want it, by mastering yourself on the inside and out, starting today. So, what you see in front of you is a process I developed probably 10, 15 years ago, give or take. This is called the Identity by Design process. This was a system that I got a download for based on a lot of trainings and teachings that I've had from various sources. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to systematically reprogram your subconscious mind on an identity level. In other words, it allows you to target the building blocks of the self you believe you have, the self that society and family and religion and culture have programmed you to be, and give you the ability to transform it, to move it, to change it, to become the person that you want to be instead of the kind of person society programmed you to be. This particular sequence of techniques allows you to completely take control of your unconscious mind and change just about anything, from physical and pain to emotional pain to limiting beliefs. And finally, it allows you to actually install in your mind and body the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people whose successes and skill sets you want to have more of. So we'll just give you a quick overview. Obviously we don't have time to go over every single step of the process. So we're gonna kind of cherry pick for you elements of the complete system. If you want access to the complete system, we'll show you how to do that towards the end of the webinar or in part 2 of the webinar. So the first thing is we want to learn how to remove all the general negativity from your mind and body. This is stuff that your neurology has picked up that you didn't even know you had. You know, in our Hidden Laws of Attraction workshops and our webinars, we talk about, you know, the law of attraction tells us that, let me go back to face-to-face with you guys. The law of attraction tells us that you will pull into your life the situations, circumstances, and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. And most of us who've studied anything with law of attraction kind of get that. That's one of the reasons a lot of us learn things like hypnosis. And to me, short of the technologies you're gonna work here, hypnosis is probably the fastest, most powerful, most user-friendly way to change yourself, bar none. Okay? And you can agree with me or not. It doesn't really matter to me if you agree or not, right? But one of the things that the law of attraction talks about is this idea of bringing things in harmony with your reality, in harmony with your dominant thoughts. The problem is they don't teach you what your actual dominant thoughts really are. You see, your dominant thoughts are not the ones you're conscious of. Your dominant thoughts are the crappy beliefs and memories on autoplay below the threshold of your conscious awareness. And most of the time, you don't realize it, you don't understand it until something from the external world provokes it. Okay, do you guys understand what I'm talking about? You don't really aren't really conscious of your dominant thoughts until something from the outside world triggers it for you, and it just comes up unbidden. But the fact that it just bubbles up like a soap bubble doesn't mean it isn't running below the threshold of the conscious mind. The barrier between the conscious and the unconscious is called a limit, in case you were wondering. Right? Are you guys with me so far? If you're with me, type "I'm with you" in the chat. Cool. All right. So part of what we're going to be playing with as we move through the content of tonight's webinar is finding out what are your dominant thoughts by way of provocation, and how do we tap into those to move us forward and clear the limiting beliefs from our minds and bodies. Okay? So let me go back to my diagram. I'm just going to run through this really quick, and then I'm going to give you your first super powerful technique. I'll just tease you a little bit. How many of you would like to be up to 30% or more better at everything? If you'd like to be 30% or more better at everything, type that in the chat. Okay. Once we go through the diagram, I will circle back. I will teach you how to do this, because you're going to need to do this for the rest of the content of tonight's webinar. Again, here's what I want you to understand. If you logged on, and especially if this is your first time, and you just expected to kind of veg out in front of a PowerPoint for the next 90 minutes, 2.5 hours, whatever, this is not that kind of webinar. This is a webinar that if you do the drills I'm guiding you through and you have the experience, you will get change. And if you take these techniques, and all the techniques I'll offer you access to later on, and you keep applying them, they're going to hit over and over and over again. Now, that's a pretty big claim. But I promise you, the vast majority of you, this is going to be your truth. Okay? And when it's not, I will show you how to fix it. Or I will teach you about how to fix it, or where to go to get that fixed. Is that fair? Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back to my diagram really quick. So really quick, the techniques we're probably going to play with tonight are probably going to be found in this area right here. And this is called special negativity clearing. But the first thing we do is we clear out the negativity that your neurology has picked up over the course of years that is just lying there getting in the way. Think of it like soaking the pot before you throw it in the dishwasher. And then we look at things that your neurology has a specific reason for holding on to. We call this specialized negativity. And again, you'll see this a lot in people who start a business. They build it up to a certain level, and then all of a sudden they lose it for some reason. They pick themselves up, they start their business again, they pick it up, they build it to a certain level, they lose it again, and then the third and fourth time comes around, and for whatever reason, they can't pull the trigger. They can't even get to the level of success they had, much less go beyond it, because something in their minds won't let them move forward. It could be in a relationship. If you've ever dated the same person with a different face over and over again, you probably are dealing with what we call specialized negativity. Our technique of choice for dealing with that, although we have others, is called Magic Frame. So you'll be learning that a lot. The next thing we do is we teach you how to install in your own mind and body the exact default driver states. In other words, most people are moving through the world in a state of basically some form of depression or some form of angst or worry, or they're just not in a resourceful state most of the time. And a lot of that is not your fault. A lot of that is actually the inherent biological biases of your nervous system combined with the onslaught of media. What we do is we teach our students how to actually install 4 distinct driver states that lead people to success. And that is playful, curious, relentless, and triumphant. If you have these states, then as your default, then everything you do is filtered through the eyes of joy and happiness and curiosity, and your brain becomes more resourceful automatically. Once we have that, we teach you how to change the voice inside your head that's always telling you all the crap about your life. You know the voice in your head that just said what voice? Right? The voice that tears you down, tells you all the reasons why you can't win, why you deserve all the bad shit. We take that out. We remove that voice and we turn it into a voice that becomes your own personal cheerleading section. The voice that tells you all the reasons why you can succeed, why you do deserve it, why you're always loved, why you're never alone, why you're always forgiven for all wrongs, real or imagined. It's one of the most transformational aspects of a very powerful system. That's the next phase. Then what we do is we systematically remove all of the negative energy from your past memories. And we transform that and move that energy, once it's been released, into all of your positive memories. And then, from that point on, when you look back on your past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better, in ways that move you forward and inspire you and make you proud of the person you are, rather than making you feel bad about yourself. From there, we take this entire sequence, and how many of you have ever heard of something called epigenetics? Or that you can transform your DNA through the powers of hypnosis and suggestion. If you've ever heard of Bruce Lipton and epigenetics and Psy-K, you might be familiar with this concept. We take this entire sequence and we install it at the genetic level before your very first memory. So it becomes like a self-improvement template, a program that your system runs automatically, and when it encounters stuff, it just cleans it up. Once you have that installed, then we go to the generative portion. Now this is where we use a process called deep trance identification, and we teach you how to systematically install all of the traits, qualities, characteristics, and attributes of people you admire, people who you want to be more like. Okay. Another term for this particular process would be called the Rykov effect. There's a couple of books out there, and you can learn about that if you want to. It's all built into this sequence. This is called the Identity by Design silo, and it's a way to completely transform the building blocks of your identity from the inside out, allows you to customize and reprogram your subconscious mind to be the person you want and build a platform for even greater levels of transformation and change. This is where the techniques you're going to be learning today are drawn from, and this is where we're going to be going. Is everybody cool with does everybody understand what this is about so far? Type in the chat if you're with me. Okay, so here's the next thing. One of the first things we talked about at the beginning of the webinar what do these two things, what does all this stuff have in common? State control and pattern recognition. Here's the first pattern that I want you to get, and it goes right to your state. If you want to be up to 31% better at anything, all you have to do is step into and embody a fun, playful, easygoing, explorational attitude. This particular metric, this particular data point comes from the realm of all places, hostage negotiation. What the FBI and the CIA and I forget all the other organizations that do this, discovered was that when the hostage negotiator entered the negotiation, and by the way, can you think of anything more stressful than a hostage negotiation? Well, maybe an LA pickup bar or a New York pickup bar, but that's a different class for a different day, right? So when the negotiator went into the interaction in an easygoing, playful, explorational, let's see what happens attitude, they were up to 31% more aware, 31% more perceptive, 31% smarter, 31% more resourceful, 31% more adaptable to the situation. And the best part was that the negotiator's counterpart, the hostage taker, was up to 31% more compliant. Let me ask you a question. If all the other stuff aside, if you got a 30% bump in people doing what you wanted them to do when you wanted them to do it, how would your life change? Type in the chat. How would your life change if you could get 30% or better more yeses and compliance and obedience in your life? What would happen? You know? Exactly. Right? And here's the first secret. Learn how to control your state so that you can choose on demand to be more playful, easygoing, and explorational. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just do that on demand? Yes or yes, as T. Harv Eker would say. Yes or yes. Okay. Would you like to be able to do that? Would you like to be able to do that right now? Hold on a second. There's a lot of chat and stuff going on here. All right. Okay. So, here's the only caveat I have. Okay? Hold on, let me get this chat box out of the way because it keeps blocking my screen. Okay. Here's the only caveat I have. We are going to do a process together. This is, again, the second technique of tonight that I want you to play with. This goes right to your state control. Everything starts, with knowing what you want. We started that with, why do I need this webinar? And that's a simple question. We find your why. Why do I need this? Why do I need this webinar? Okay. Next piece, control your state. How we control our state. There's two ways you control your state. Through your posture and your breathing, or your willpower and your cognition. We're going to teach you one technique from our state control module. This technique is one of the most powerful, fastest, most user-friendly ways to step into any emotional state that you want anytime you want. Okay? Again, we go in much greater detail in the Identity by Design programs, how to control your subconscious mind, secrets of personality transformation, even CPI and killer influence, we do this. Because it's such a fundamental, foundational way to do this. But before I do it with you, and you do it with me, I need to make sure that you're safe. And here's what I mean by that. These processes involve altering the state of consciousness and body chemistry that you have. That means if you are driving or operating any form of equipment or machinery that requires your full and undivided attention, do not do this. Okay? Do not do this. If you want to do it, okay. Pull off to the side of the road, put the car in park, put the emergency brake on, turn off the ignition, make sure you won't be pulled over or a cop won't knock on your door, right? Make sure you're in a safe place where you will not be disturbed or arrested for doing something weird. Is it okay to be enjoying a beer? Well, you might want to put the beer aside for the 2 minutes it takes to do this exercise. Is that okay? Okay, we're going to play some games really quick. And these are exercises that, I could spend an entire day explaining to you why they work. Just understand that there's a lot of neuroscience that's going on here. In fact, if you've watched the immediate pain relief video I just released, one of the guys in the audience was actually a neurophysiology teacher from a hypnosis school in Colorado. And I brought him up and took his arthritis pain away. And towards the end of the video, he starts going off on all the neuroscience that I'm doing in this 1.5 to 2 minute technique. So if you want to understand the neuroscience behind it, it's actually there on that video. You can watch it. It's only like a 20 minute, or no, it's only about an hour. But you'll see people just changing and transforming. Alcohol never gotten me technique better. Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right, let's not pass judgment, okay? So what the video is called Immediate Pain Relief, I think is what. Just type immediate pain. It's one that I just posted it this week. It shouldn't be hard to find. Okay? But, so, are we good? You guys ready to play? Type in the chat. Again, this is a very interactive webinar. I need to know you're with me. Okay, so here's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to stand up. I'm standing, you stand. Okay? I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think back to a time in your life when you felt the most amazing, playful, wonderful, pleasurable feeling ever. And I don't care what it was. I'm not the pleasure police. I don't care. I want you to remember that moment. I want you to see in your own mind. I want you to see it the way you see it. I want you to hear it the way you hear it. I want you to smell and taste it the way you smell and you taste it. Because when you do that, when you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there is an amazing, wonderful, ecstatic feeling that you get, a feeling of absolute pleasure and playfulness and joyfulness. And I'd like you to notice, I'd like you to become aware that there's a place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, point to where you feel it. As you point to where you feel it, I'd like you to notice something. I'd like you to notice that there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. I'm curious what color or colors that might be for you. First impression. Now you don't need to type this in the chat, just fully experience it. Become aware of it, notice it, realize where it is in your body. Become aware of the colors. And then I'd like you to take that amazing imagination of yours. I'd like you to imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. And I'd like you to notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, that amazing ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of pleasure, of playfulness. A cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all seriousness, all crap, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an infinite, ever-expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, breathe that amazing energy through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in. So fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away. Not even you. When you know you've got that, when you realize it's true, test it. Try to turn it off. Try to make it go away. Notice what happens instead. And when you've tested it and you're satisfied, type what you discovered in the chat. Peace. Very cool. Right on. Feeling great? Nothing? Okay. Nice. Peaceful. Feel relaxed and happy? Good. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. You want to make it better? You want to make it stronger? Would that be okay? All right. So here's the next piece. Right? Now, if all you did was this every morning, your neurology would change. Your neurology would evolve. Right? So I want you to close your eyes, breathe that color through your entire being once again. Notice what happens. Now, again, this comes up a lot. If you have never had joy, if you have never had peace, what might it feel like? Can you imagine what it might be like? Do that. Now, also, most of us, even if we haven't had joy, have had pleasure. It keeps getting bigger. Notice Jennifer saying, that's right. Now, notice there's a place in your body where it feels the strongest. Right? Close your eyes, point to where it feels the strongest. Now, if there were a picture floating in the space around you somewhere, a picture that you could reach out and touch, take your other hand, reach out and touch that picture. Take both of your hands, trace the outline of the picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Now grab it. And just like you would expand the windows on your iPhone or your Android or your touchscreen at home, make the picture bigger and notice what happens to the feelings in your body. When you got that, bring it back to its original size. Now take the picture, pull it closer to your body, notice what happens. When you got that, lift it up over your head. Pull it down around you like a big blanket. Notice what happens now. Does it get stronger? Does it get weaker? Now, I want you to just take this picture that we're holding. I want you to unwrap it, lift it back up over your head. As you hold this picture in your hands, I want you to understand and realize something. And inside your mind, body, and soul, you are the god or goddess of your reality. You are the king and queens of your universe. And you have absolutely every right, privilege, and authority, permission to make any change you want for any reason that you want. I want you to play with your power right now. I want you to take this picture that you're holding and I want you to play with it. I want you to explore it. I want you to make it bigger, make it smaller, move it up, move it down, move it into your body, move it out of your body. Notice how every time you change something about this picture, that the feelings and the intensity of those feelings in your body change too. And I want you to keep playing with it until you find the exact size, shape, and location that gives you the exact feeling you want to have at the exact intensity level that you want to have it. And when you find that sweet spot, I want you to fix it into place. Let it flow from the picture to your heart, from your heart to your bloodstream, from your bloodstream, every place your blood flows, those feelings go into every nerve and every cell and every atom, into the very DNA of those cells, changing, transforming, reprogramming, turning each and every cell of your body into a powerful, perpetual pleasure factory. Each cell of your body generating more and more and more of those amazing feelings in an infinite, ever-expanding, and unlimited supply. There's no need to measure it or manage it or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off. Notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, type your results in the chat. Esty says, amazing. I don't want the old feelings back. That's how you know you did it right. Kind of sweet, right? Just the beginning, guys. Worth the price of admission? Yes or yes? Feels like a shield. This is the baby stuff. This is the baby stuff, right? But what we did teach you in this one segment is that there is true magic, there is true power within your neurology, mind, body, and so on. If you put the pieces together right, the change happens quick. Old feelings are stuck, they can't come back. Boom. What if you did this every day for a month? What do you think would happen? Okay, change, right? Your life is going to change, but we're not going to stop there. Let's talk about the next piece, okay? You think if you move through the world with this as your default way of being, things would get better? Yes or yes? You guys want more? Or should I just end the webinar here? Oh, okay, I'm just checking. Not like I'm teasing or anything, right? But I told you at the beginning, if you do these drills, you will have experiences. Experiences don't lie, right? Marketing copy can lie. Videos can lie. Experience, different, right? Take me to another dimension. All right, let's cover really quick some things that, again, we cover these more in our programs, but let's talk about the two most important factors for success. And those two most important factors for us, ladies and gentlemen, are our identity. In other words, the belief systems that we have. Remember I said at the beginning of the webinar that human beings, you will pull into your life the things that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. The problem is people don't know what their dominant thoughts actually are. Most of your dominant thoughts you're not consciously aware of, and you're only momentarily aware of them when they're provoked from something on the outside of you. Okay? So one of the things that I teach my students in Planet David is that there's a difference between the animal human and the self-evolving, the self-actualizing human. And it's a very subtle difference, but it's an important one. And this is what I mean. We all know that human beings move towards pleasure and away from pain, right? Any animal on the planet knows to go towards the things that make them feel good and happy, right? And move away from the things that make them feel bad. And most humans are operating in that same idea. They're flesh robots. They're walking around moving towards the things that give them pleasure, moving away from the things that make them feel pain. But self-actualizing humans, at whatever level they're at, there's something about them that drives them to run into the things that make them want to run away. Right? So they, and because they understand that, they look for ways to clear their shit, not just because they want to be free of it, but because they realize that the fastest road to becoming their best version of themselves is actually on the other side of the things that make them want to run away. Does that make sense? I don't want to get too into the advanced stuff. I want to make sure you understand this. If you're someone who has a driven need to clear their shit, to become the best version of themselves, to do whatever it takes, I'm talking to you. If you're not one of those people, well, maybe I'm talking to you, maybe I'm not, right? So, two most important ingredients of success: your identity and action. In other words, it's not enough to just have an identity that says, I'm worthy and deserving. You actually have to act on the things that you program your conscious mind into. Think of it like closing a circuit. If I prime my mind to do something, but then I never take the physical correlate, I don't close that circuit, right? So the two most important factors for your success are going to be, who are you on the inside, which is, we're going to talk about, is your belief system, right? Now your beliefs have a hierarchy to them. Let me show you a real, I was avoiding trying to show the graphic just because it tends to slow us down, and I know people are getting a little, I mean, I know a lot of you are having a good time, but I just know that there's some, but that's not what I want. That's not what I want either. Hold on a second. Wrong page. Here we go. Nope, that's the wrong one again. Hold on. I'm teasing you now. See? Okay. So here we go. Beliefs. I think this is this it? No. Nope. Nope. Huh. Maybe that's why I didn't want to show it to you, because I don't have the grid. Is that it? No. Oh, I guess I don't have a. Here, sorry, it was at the bottom of the list. All right, so what you're seeing here is factor one, your identity, and this is why we created the Identity by Design silo, because your identity is about who you are. What is your self-concept, your life experience? What do you feel you deserve? What do you feel you don't deserve? What do you feel you're capable of? What do you feel you're not capable of? And what NLP did for us many, many years ago was it elucidated, or it identified what is commonly referred to as the hierarchy of beliefs. All of your beliefs are built the same way, but there's a pecking order. This is low, this is high. The beliefs at the top of the pyramid influence and control the beliefs at the bottom of the pyramid. So if you have someone who says, I'm overweight or I'm fat, anytime you hear the words I am, whether you catch other people doing it or you catch yourself doing it, what you're hearing is a belief at the identity level in the hierarchy of your beliefs. Are you guys cool with me on that? You understand that? And that identity will change everything beneath it. It'll change your beliefs and your values. It'll change what you think your capabilities are. It will change the behaviors that you engender. It'll change how you interact with your environment and the meaning your environment gives you. So that identity level, may you see the picture again? Sure. So this pyramid is really, really important for a number of reasons. The higher we go on the pyramid, the more power we get. Think of it as pyramid power, right? Now, this is something that the Identity by Design silo is designed to help you change and transform, okay? But there's another aspect too as well, and that is action. All altered states of consciousness and internal alchemical work, which is what you're learning, must be balanced with appropriate actions in the physical world. Now, people, in my experience, don't take action for one of two reasons. Mindset issues. They know what to do, but for some reason, they can't bring themselves to do it. Sometimes it's because of a lack of deservingness. They think rich people or wealthy people are slime. They don't think they have the capabilities of it. They don't want to be a bad person because they equate being a bad person with having a certain outcome. Any kind of limiting belief, right? It could be fears. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of becoming someone they don't like. These are mindset issues. The way you diagnose if you have a mindset issue or a skill set issue is, do you actually know the steps to take to do what you want to do? Right? Let's say you've bought every internet marketing course on the planet, right? You can quote Frank Kern and Eben Pagan and all these, and Robert Allen and all these other guys backwards and forwards. You know exactly what steps to take, but you can't pull the trigger. You can't take an action. You got a mindset issue, right? But let's say you're ready to start. You start now and keep going. You have no clue where to go or what to do. Now you have a skill set issue. Most people have a little bit of both, but they tend to predominate in one over the other. Many times people confuse one with the other, right? So we gotta get you taking action, right? Yeah, you buy things, read them, and realize it's just information. That's not what this course is about. It's about getting off your ass and doing something. If you're one of those people, you're in the right place. If you're not, you probably want to go watch the Three Stooges or Stranger Things or whatever it is that you guys watch. But if you want to change, you gotta have these two elements. You gotta have an identity and a belief system that supports who you want to be. Okay? And you have to have the skill sets and the ability to take action. Right? If you have those two things and you combine it with a playful, relentless determination to succeed, you're on your way. Okay? But now, how else can we use this little pyramid thing? Right? This little pyramid of beliefs. The next drill that we're going to play with together is known as the emotional motivation checklist. Now, this is designed to help you get in the most motivated, organized state humanly possible. When you use it with other people, they link everything that's emotionally important to them to what you offer. So the fulfillment of their desires becomes linked to the person doing the drill with them. What would happen if everybody you met had an insatiable desire to purchase what you're offering or just do what you wanted them to do for their reasons? What would happen in your life? I'm curious. Go ahead and type it. It's all right. That would be awesome. You're about to learn how to do that. But we're going to do this for you first. We're going to teach you what that feels like so you can understand the amazing pleasure and power and emotional satisfaction you're going to be sharing with other people, right? Remember something. Money makes its way to the people who provide the greatest degree of value. If you want more money or wealth or abundance in your life, you have to find ways to deliver more value. And you have to have an identity within yourself that says, I deserve to have it. We can handle both of those here, right? Money's not enough, though. Money, there's got to be a good you bring to the world that is a byproduct, or the money is a byproduct of, right? And that's what I want you to tap into, right? Abundance can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. Some they equate it as money. Some equate it as freedom or just an ability to do whatever they want whenever they want to do it, right? So I want you to go ahead, take out the piece of paper we started with that says why I need this. Take that out, put it in front of you. I want you to look at your answer. I hope you wrote it down, right? I hope you wrote it down. I want you to write down, if you didn't write it down or if you joined us late in the webinar, I asked at the beginning of the training today to write down on a piece of paper why I need this webinar. And I wanted you to write the answer down. Whatever popped into your head first, that's what I want you to write down. No editing, no rationalizing, no, whatever. Okay? Just write it down. Now, underneath the answer you wrote, I want you to write another question. And that question is, what's important about that? So you wrote why I need this webinar because you wrote an answer. What's important about that? That's the first question. What's important about? I want you to write out that answer. When you've written out the answer, whatever pops up first is fine. Just write it below that. What's important about that? Write the answer. When you've done that, type done in the chat. Perfect. Okay. Underneath that question, underneath your answer, I want you to write the same question. What's important about that? Answer the question again. So you wrote why I need that. You wrote the answer. You wrote what's important about that. You answered it. Write the question, what's important again. Answer that question. First thing that pops up. And then finally, ultimately, what's important about that? So you've asked this question 3 times. You've gotten 3 deeper levels of answer. So you know what's behind why you need this. You know what's behind what's important about that. You know what's behind what's important about that. And ultimately what's behind what's important about that. So you should have 3 layers of answer, right? You don't need to share it in the chat, and I'm honored that you would, right? How many of you are noticing that as you write this, you're getting emotional? Yes or yes? If you're doing it right, you should be getting emotional. Perfect. Now I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up. I want you to take the sheet of paper that you've written your answers on. Okay? I want you to hold it at about a 45-degree angle. Okay? And you can look at the screen if you want to. Either way is fine. All I want you to do is read the answers to each of your questions 5 times out loud. Just read the answers to your questions 5 times out loud. When you've done that 5 times out loud, type done in the chat. And you can look at here. You can look up here while you do it, or you can just look at your screen if you know your answers. Either way is fine. Just type done in the chat. Lila says, did. Feel good about it. It's all right. Beautiful. Good, 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 good. Excellent. How do you feel now? You feel kind of inspired, motivated, ready to go? This is the feeling that you will share with every single human that you do this with. Whether they're a coaching client, whether they're a patient, an employee, an employer, when a potential romantic partner, family member, you're going to generate these kinds of amazing feelings in the other person. Now, as you link those feelings to what we're about to talk about next, I want you guys to be aware of something. I know that for some of you, you had these amazing rush of positive feelings, right? That was the vast majority of you. Some of you might have got a little anxious, a little agitated. That's okay too. Some of you may have had this really powerful positive feeling, and in the background, there was this little icky nagging feeling that you tried to ignore because you were focused on the good stuff. For how many of you did I describe pretty much what you experienced? Okay. We have fixes for all of it. Okay? What you just did was tap into your own deep emotional values and checklists for what constitutes the very best everything. And because you're doing it with me, just like when you do it with other people, all those feelings get linked together. We're bound together in that mission now. My job is to help you get what you want, right? And that's where we're going. So, if you liked what we have so far, I put together a special package, a presentation that I told you about at the beginning of the webinar. Are you guys ready to learn about it and move forward with your lives? Yes or yes? Okay, let's do this. I'd like to share with you. Dun, 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 dun. With your permission, the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study for Success Home Study course. This is a course that I originally developed back in the early part of the century, and we've been developing it and refining it and honing it for almost 20 years now. And it is by far the most powerful, user-friendly system of personal transformation I've ever discovered. And I put this together for you people who want to learn at home, or for people who want a little bit more hands-on training. This is going to teach you step by step by step how to go through that entire personality transformation silo, the 7 steps that we talked about, and so much more. I'm excited to share this with you, and I hope you'll take action and go for it with your own life as well. So, what is the Secrets of Personality Transformation system all about? It's about, obviously, attracting more wealth and abundance. It's about closing more deals, getting more dates and romance in your life. It's about helping people and making a difference in the world so that you can move through the world feeling more powerful, more confident, more charming, more charismatic, more everything you truly want to feel, and less of all the things you don't. It's about control. It's about taking the randomness out of your life once and for all. Okay? So here's what we put together for you. And the offer does expire today, July 13th, 2022 at 11:59 p.m. There might be some typos later on. Ignore those. I don't think I have any, but just in case, that is the actual expiration date for today. Okay. So what are you going to get in Secrets of Personality Transformation? Well, it's a 14-video home study course that's going to teach you the 7 stages that we've talked about at the beginning of the webinar. It's going to teach you how to systematically clear the unconsciously held negative emotions and beliefs, stuff you didn't even know you had. It's going to teach you how to go in, find it, remove it, and replace it with stuff that actually makes your life better. It's a $297 value for that technique alone. What would your life be like if you could just go in and find all the shit you didn't know you had and get rid of it? Life would get good really quick, would it not? Remove unconscious safety rules. This is what I talked about earlier. Maybe you're dating the same person with a different face every single time, right? You know what you got to do, you know how to do it, you can't pull the trigger. We're going to teach you how to find what's holding you back, remove it, and get your life on the fast track to health, success, wealth, happiness, love and romance. It's a $297 value for that. We're going to teach you how to systematically remove those negative voices in your head, the ones that hold you back, the voice in your head that just said, what voice, right? We're going to teach you how to transform it and change it into a voice that builds you up, that reminds you of all the things and reasons why you deserve to have it, that you're always loved, that you're always good enough, that you're never alone, forgiven for all wrongs, real or imagined. And this voice will go with you from that day forward, guiding you, inspiring you, enlightening you, protecting you, showing you the fastest, most direct way to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's well more than a $297 value, but I had to put a number in there. So we're going to teach you how to install the 4 pillars of personal power and success: playfulness, curiosity, triumph, relentlessness. These will be the default states that you move through the world in, seeing the world through those filters, seeing through the eyes of opportunity, being unstoppable in every aspect of your life. $297 value. We're going to teach you how to systematically sanitize, remove all the negative energy from your past memories and traumas, so that when you look back on the history of your life, your personal story, you will see it only in ways that make your life better, proud of the person you are, and moves you forward without any shame, blame, or guilt into your own person. And then we're going to take that entire sequence of events, that entire system, we're going to install it as a genetic template at the DNA level, so that it becomes part of your anatomy, part of your biology. It's a $297 value. And then the cherry on the sundae, we're going to teach you, once you understand how your system actually works, how easy it actually is to program your mind and body, to get rid of the stuff you hate and program in more of the stuff you want. We're going to teach you how to borrow and install the genius and skills and abilities of other people into your own personal blueprint for success, so that you can emulate, replicate, and build on that platform. There's an old saying, if I see further than others, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. This is your step ladder to getting on the shoulders of those giants. Start here and build it and make it your own. Cherry on the sundae. It's a $297 value. Included with this course is our real-world hypnosis identity by design manual. It includes instant and rapid inductions, conversational hypnosis, self-help scripts, auto-suggestion scripts, the entire 7-stage identity by design process. Follow along in the manual, watch the videos over and over again, follow along on the videos. Your stuff will change. You're also going to get access to a special private online community where you can actually log in and practice these things every month with people who are just like you, who want the same things you want and want them with the shortest amount of time, energy, and effort humanly possible. Total value for this entire system is $2,497. But listen, you're on today's webinar for a reason. I don't believe in randomness. I believe everything happens for a reason. And if you're here today, it's because the universe chose you to take your life to the next level. And I want to make that as easy as humanly possible. So if you grab your course today, I'm also going to include these special exclusive bonuses. Sign up today before the end of the webinar. You're also going to get access to our Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course. Now this course is designed for people who want to do this process with other people. If you're a coach, a therapist, a mentor, if you're a psychotherapist, a social worker, if you deal with any form of trauma, any form of addictions, any form of fears and phobias, this is going to add such a complete and powerful toolkit to your business. You can take people further faster than any other practitioner that I know of. Okay? It's going to teach you how to, and even if you don't, learning how to do this for yourself is pure gold. They're going to teach you how to unlock the power of your subconscious mind so that you can actually hypnotize people anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. It's a true fact that 12 of my students have actually done this process in the lobby of a hotel undergoing renovations next to an active working jackhammer with 100% success. In fact, some of those people are on the webinar tonight. If you want that level of skill, parking lots, lines at Starbucks, elevators, not just in the treatment room. If you want that level of skill, this is the course for you. We'll teach you how to remove blocks and limiting beliefs, how to find and remove the hidden negativity that your clients didn't even know they had, how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, how to change that crappy voice inside your head, resolve the negativity from your past so that you only experience it in ways that make your life better, and also to install the traits, qualities, characteristics, and attributes of the people you admire. We're going to teach you instant and rapid inductions. We're going to teach you how to deal with that reactions. We're going to teach you how to do self-work. We're going to teach you how to do a consultation that has a 90% close rate. In other words, 9 out of 10 people that you do this consultation process with will raise their hand and say, I want you to work with me. I want to work with you. When can we start? Don't believe me, test it. Right? That's another thing I wanted to remind you of. You don't have to believe a single thing I'm teaching you in this webinar for it to work. Okay? Total value is a $1,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. It's my way of just, again, making sure that you have the absolute best tools humanly available. Total value between the personality transformation course and identity by design is $2,994. Wait, that can't be right. My math is way off. It's like, hold on a second. Let me redo the math on this. Anyway, I'll get back to it. The math is obviously wrong. My bad. Okay. We're also going to include, for those of you who would like to actually use the law of attraction in a way that actually works, this is our Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Made Easy Home Study course. The reason we call this Hidden Laws of Attraction is because it takes all the techniques in the Identity by Design manual and it teaches you how to clear your blocks to manifestation and how to actually accelerate your manifestation process, right? So we're going to teach you how to find and remove the blocks to health, wealth, and happiness you didn't know you had, how to become a money magnet, how to become magnetically more open to receiving wealth and abundance, how to influence people remotely for their good and yours. This includes healing. To find and remove the hidden negativity that other people, as well as you, didn't know you had, that block your manifestation success. To teach you how to clear up the issues that just don't seem to go away. We're also going to really kind of do a little myth busting on on a lot of the bad beliefs that people have around how manifestation works and how it doesn't. A lot of people, for example, believe that if I manifest something and I don't like it, I'm stuck with it. Well, no, that's not true at all. If you manifested one thing, you can manifest another. But a lot of people suffer from this one and done mindset. A lot of people also have this belief that, well, what if I manifest something for myself, and in order for me to get it, something bad happens to somebody else? We'll teach you how to work around that too, right? Most people have, a lot of these fears are largely unfounded, and we'll teach you how to clear those things out lickety-split. We're going to teach you a powerful new yin-formation method for programming your mind and body. This is a way of doing affirmations based on that hierarchy of beliefs that we showed you at the beginning, specific language patterns, and how your autonomic nervous system actually works. So what you'll see is after doing 5 yin formations, you'll have a stronger response from your body than an hour of doing classical affirmations. And you'll be more motivated, more excited, more magnetic to the things you want to attract. It's a simple technique. Once you understand it, you become pretty much unstoppable. We'll show you how to attract the things you want and change what you think you deserve. How to remove the negativities from your past that are blocking your manifestations and install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. There are 5 psycho-behavioral characteristics that all naturally lucky people have. And once you know what they are, using the Identity by Design process, you can reprogram your neurology to amplify those traits and become more naturally lucky as a byproduct of this training. Okay? You'll discover the most powerful engine of personal transformation and manifestation ever. If you think informations are powerful, the image cycling technology that I was fortunate enough to discover many, many years ago has proven to me to be the most powerful method of transforming and manifesting patently impossible stuff I have ever encountered. Many of the people on this webinar have used this same image cycling technology and manifested outrageous things. Right? If you want to hear some of those stories, I have a video on YouTube called Funny Law of Attraction Stories. I just talk about story after story after story where we manifested things that they said couldn't happen. Things that they said I had no qualifying for. It just, within 12 months, boom, everything changed. And that was for the impossible stuff. Possible stuff happens faster. Okay? But don't believe me. Learn the technology, put it to work, prove it to yourself. Okay? And a lot more. There's a lot more in this course. But again, if you like even one thing on this list, you owe it to yourself to jump into this. It's a $1,497 value, but what if even one of these things works as well as I say it does? What would that mean to your life? We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Total combined value is $5,491. But we're not done yet. For those of you who have skill set issues, one of the things that I talked about at the beginning of this webinar was that you have two ways that we get blocked. You either have a mindset issue or a skill set issue. One of the things that I discovered very, very early on is that the one thing that a lot of people don't have when they move forward in life is the ability to communicate in such a way that people want to do what you want them to do and feel good about it, right? I said at the beginning of the webinar, what if you could move through the world making everyone you meet up to 31% more compliant? Well, you can do that just by changing your state. What if you could move that needle even higher? 35, 45, 55, 85%. What if you could move that needle to where almost everyone you meet happily does what you want them to do? That's why I included this particular course in the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control System Home Study Package. Because with this, not only will your mind be right, not only will your sense of identity be right, but you will have the skills to communicate with people to make them want to do what you want them to do and feel good about it. So not only will you be able to hypnotize people anytime, anywhere, you'll be able to emotionally bond and motivate and connect with people at will. You'll be able to control your own emotions and use them as powerful amplification tools to help other people connect and bond with you more powerfully. Let me ask you a question. What if you had the ability to make anything you want seem to cause anything you want in the minds of your listener? Would that be a superpower? What if you had the ability to make anything you want mean anything you want in the minds of your listeners? What would that do for you? What if you had the seemingly magical ability to control and direct a person's awareness and focus of attention so that they automatically paid attention to the things you wanted them to from the perspective you wanted to pay attention to, and you could automate processes in their minds that would cause them to just think the way you wanted them to think? What if you had the ability to make a person's internal mind movies be exactly what you described them to be with absolutely zero chance of failure? What if you could do those four things? And the reason I say that is because one of the things you'll learn in this course are the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns that exist and how to train them. The first 4 things I just talked about, how to make anything you want cause anything you want, how to make anything you want mean anything you want, how to control a person's direction and focus of attention, how to make a person's internal movies and pictures be exactly what you want, are the first 4 language patterns that you'll learn in the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns module. And then it just gets stronger. We're going to teach you the seemingly magical way to make people like, love, and trust you on command. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter what the circumstance. If you can communicate verbally or in written language, you can utilize this process to make people hang on your every word. Okay? You'll become magnetically charismatic, and you can generate and amplify that charisma on command, and so much more. What if you had the magical ability that nobody could push your emotional buttons ever again? That's part of what this course is going to teach you. It's a $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free if you're one of the next few people to jump on this home study course. Total combined value is $7,441 when you register before the end of the webinar. Finally, what if you had the almost magical ability to change any belief or overcome any objection or win any argument in minutes? What if for every limiting belief you encountered in yourself or in other people, you had 14 different ways to change that belief in seconds or minutes before you started combining them? What could you do with that? Okay, that is exactly what Renegade Reframing, how to rapidly change beliefs and instantly overcome any objection, is designed to do. Now, we included this for several reasons. Once again, most people need the ability to change perspectives on things. When you start doing therapy work, when you start clearing your own crap, one of the byproducts of that training, one of the byproducts of this process, is that your perspective on what happened to you will automatically change. You can use very powerful language techniques to accelerate that process. So we give you this course for two reasons. One, if you wrote down a list of every belief that holds you back and you fired these 14 different bullets at it, that belief would rapidly change and you would be free. You would instantly become more adaptable, more explorational, more confident, more fearless, instantly, just by deploying these 14 tools on your own belief system. When you're out in the world and you meet somebody who's afraid, who gives you a seemingly BS reason for not moving forward in their life, you can systematically, conversationally use these same tools to free them and move them forward in life, to make a difference in their world and change their limiting beliefs just by talking to them. Can you see why I included this in the package? Okay, this course is nothing short of miraculous. Okay, it's a $1,950 value. It actually comes with a complete manual, and get this, it comes with a card game we call the Reframe game, where you can actually get a bunch of your friends together. You can line out a bunch of BS beliefs or political perspectives that you want to battle with, and you can actually throw a limiting belief at somebody, throw a reframe card at them, and they got to use that reframe card to overcome the belief. And you can play it like a drinking game. You can play it like war or Uno, and you can just go back and forth and just gamify this and become really, really good at instantaneously overcoming objections and changing beliefs. As far as I know, we're the only one teaching a way to play the reframe game to make you learn this faster. And your life will change as a byproduct of that. Okay? Total combined value is $9,391, but we're not done. Let me just review what we got so far. So, for those of you who want to make a change today, who want to get the life you want the way you want it, if everything you wrote down on that piece of paper during the webinar is true, this is how you do it. It starts with the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Mastery Home Study Course. 14 videos plus the manual, $2,497 value. Real World Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Home Study Course, $1,497 value. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Masterclass, $1,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. You can get the Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol Home Study Course. It's a $1,947 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. And finally, the Renegade Reframing, How to Overcome Any Objection and Change Beliefs Instantly, $1,950 value. Total value is $9,391. Now, my job is to show you how to get from where you are to where you want to be and make it as easy as humanly possible. So for those of you who want to take action today, I want to give you the best deal humanly possible. You won't have to pay $9,391. You won't have to pay $6,347. We're not even going to make you pay $5,347. You're not going to have to invest $3,347. You're not going to have to part with $2,347. Heck, you can get it all for one low investment today for $9.97. If you need a little extra help, we have a recession buster plan. You can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $3.97. All you got to do to get yours right now, and I would, is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Mind. Once again, with feeling, go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/mind. Reserve your spot, get your course, and let us help you take your life to the next level. Now, for those of you who may be on the fence, for those of you who said, okay, I get it, David, what's cats? There isn't one, right? All you got to do is test it. Take the course. Do the drills, learn the skills, apply them to your life for a full 60 days. If after 60 days, you're not on the fast track to more wealth and abundance and making more money, if you're not closing more deals, attracting more success, manifesting the life of your dreams, enjoying new and positive social encounters, feeling more empowered, if you're not on the fast track to feeling like you're becoming the best version of yourself, if you're not satisfied for any reason, I will refund your money. You have absolutely nothing to risk and everything to gain. Test it. You don't got to believe it for it to work. That's the best part about this, guys and gals. You don't got to believe it. You just got to do it. I guarantee a good chunk of you on this webinar tonight, when you started doing these drills, you didn't believe it. And then stuff started to change. And imagine what you can do with the full system. Test it, practice it, let us guide you if necessary for a full 60 days. If after 60 days, it's not getting you the results, we will refund your money so you can find something that works better. But I promise you, if you like even a little bit of what we've talked about, we've under-delivered what this course can do for you. Okay? So, try it for 60 days and decide. Right? Get yours now. Just go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/mind. davidsnydernlp.com/mind. I see a different link. Are we having a problem with the link? Okay. So, one more time. www.nlp.com/mind. www.davidsnydernlp.com/mind. Okay. Let me see here. Just one second. Okay. Now, for those of you who are really action takers, and you know who you are, right? I don't have to, these are the people I really don't have to cajole so much. For those of you who are ready to take it to the next level, for those of you who really want to make a change, if you grab your course and all the goodies before the end of tonight, July 13th, 2022 at 11:59 p.m., I will include these special fast action bonuses. And again, the reason that I do this is because I have a very strong belief that the behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. The behavior that gets repeated gets reinforced. And so one of the 2 key ingredients to success is action. I want you to get in the game. I want you to take action. I want to reward you for that. Okay? So for those of you who jump onto this right now, we're going to include a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group and access for those 3 months to our 11-year video archive. Now I'm going to jump off the PowerPoint here just to explain this. Now I know a lot of you are familiar with the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring program, but for those of you who are new, let me explain it. In 2010, I was asked by a lot of my seminar attendees if I could create a mentoring program where people could get more hands-on practice. Because one of the things that you see if you've been in the self-help world for any length of time is that they'll tell you what to do. If you spend enough money, they might tell you how to do it. But then you go home and you've got nobody to practice with. You've got nobody giving you feedback. You've got nobody looking over your shoulder, right, to make sure you're getting the skill sets. So we created the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program as a way for people to come in, roll up their sleeves, do the drills, and get the skills. Okay, and so that's what we've been doing every single month since 2010 on the third Saturday. Matter of fact, it's coming up this weekend. So for those of you who want to get in, this might be good for you, right? Literally what happens is you log in, and we're going to be reactivating our live events very, very shortly. So if you're in the Southern California area, you can actually show up in person from 11 to 4 p.m. And I go around the room and I say, Stephanie, what do you want to learn? Holly, what do you learn? Seth, what do you want to learn? Delilah, what do you want to learn? Brandy, what do you want to learn? And I write what you want to learn about on the board. And then I step back and I look at what all of those things have in common. And then I create the lesson plan for you on the spot. And I drill you on those skills until you can do them in your sleep. At the end of that 6 hours or however long it is, you go out into the world to apply your new skills. Third Saturday of next month, you come in. I'm going to ask the same questions. What do you want to learn today? What do you want to learn today? What do you want to learn today? I'm going to write them. We're going to create the lesson plan. We're going to drill you on those skills. Every month is different. Every month is designed to drill down specifically on the skill set you need to move your life forward that week, that day. Okay? You will not get a certificate from the mastermind. What you will get is a skill set that you can use in your work, your home, your love life, your business life, and it covers everything from marketing to therapy to law of attraction to past life regression, energy healing, you name it, we do it. It's a completely member-driven group mentoring process where you just roll up your sleeves and do it, okay? And you will meet some of the coolest, smartest, funniest people on the planet. Anybody here cool? Type me if it's cool, right? Anybody here like to do cool stuff? Anybody here like to do cool stuff with cool people? Join the mastermind. You will meet some of the best people on the planet. You will get a skill set that will make you unstoppable. And when you apply it to the techniques in your program, your life will take off like a rocket. Now here's the better part of that. Not only is that the best part, we videotaped every single meeting since 2010 and archived them on the NLP Power website, on our private YouTube channel, and on our private Facebook channel. So for the time that you're part of the mastermind, you will have complete unlimited access to the entire 11-year archive. Stuff that's never been seen on YouTube. You see how much stuff we have on our open channel. We have even more available to our private members. And you can binge watch that to your heart's content, right? The only thing I'm going to warn you about is because it's member driven, the content is it's random based on who's in the room that day. But if you just like if you're one of the yes have some people, like people who just show up and say, I don't care what David's teaching, I'm just here, then you're going to have a ball. But you get to hang out with cool people who like to do cool stuff. And if you want to stay, we'll show you how to upgrade your membership. Okay? So that's fast action bonus number 1. But we're not done there. For those of you who take action today, total combined value, by the way, is $10,078. This is a $1,597 value. We're going to give it to you free, just for trying out the program. We're also going to include the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. This was a course I did on conversational hypnosis for people who want to watch a couple videos and start hypnotizing people today. Stealth is actually an acronym, believe it or not, for strategic suggestion through emotionally amplified, linguistically transmitted hypnosis. It covers the 7 key language patterns. It covers the 3 magic questions protocol, instant and rapid inductions, anchoring and lie detection are part of this program as well. It's designed for people who want to just no BS, cut through the bullshit. How do I hypnotize people and how can I do it right now? You have 2 hours of video to watch, you'll be out hypnotizing people that night. Total value, it comes with transcripts, it comes with workbooks, and manuals. Okay, total value is $997. We're going to give it to you free. So total value of our package so far is $11,075 if you're one of the next few people to grab the few remaining packages that remain. The final bonus ticket, or the final bonus that I want to share with you, for you people who want to take action, for those of you who really want the in-person experience, which I always recommend, we're going to give you, today only, a VIP super ticket. This super ticket is going to give you free admission to our very next real-world hypnosis and hypnotherapy Identity by Design 4-day hypnosis certification boot camp, live in Las Vegas, August 1st through the 4th, 2022. That's next month. This is only limited to the next 17 people to register today. It's a $2,250 value, and we're going to take you through the entire Identity by Design process in person. You're going to work with person after person. You're going to get your stuff fixed. We're going to remove blocks to your success. We're going to remove the safety rules holding you back. We're going to teach you how to change that voice inside your head. We're going to teach you how to move through the world from a state of relentless, positive, playful triumph. We're going to teach you how to remove the negativity from your past and others, how to install it all in your gene level, and then install the traits, qualities, characteristics, and attributes of people you admire. We're going to teach you instant and rapid inductions, conversational hypnosis, self-hypnosis, and a whole lot more. You're going to get it live. 4 days with me, locked in a room, going through the most powerful transformation process on the planet. And when you come out, you're going to be someone different. And you can just use it for yourself, or take it to your coaching or therapy or social businesses and utilize it to build better humans and make their lives better and make a difference in the world. It's a $2,250 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free, but only for the next 17 people to register for this program today. When I log off this webinar, this VIP ticket goes away. Okay? So total value for everything is $13,325. Here's what you're getting. Secrets of Personality Transformation, Ultra Mind Control Training and Manual, $2,497 value. You're going to get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, $1,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation and Mind Control Mastery Home Study Course, $1,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. You're going to get the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. Renegade Reframing, How to Overcome Objections and Conversational Belief Change, $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. And finally, the NLP Power, the Fast Action Bonuses, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, and the unlimited 3-month trial for their video archive, $1,597. We're going to give it to you free. Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, $997. Free. And of course, that VIP super ticket to the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Super Training, live in Las Vegas, Nevada, August 1st through the 4th. All you got to do to get yours for one low investment of $997 or 3 easy installments of $397 is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. That's www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Do it now. Do it now, do it now, do it now before they're all gone. Those VIP tickets go fast, guys. www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. If you have any questions, you can call our amazing administrative goddess, Stephanie Skiba, at 858-282-4663, or you can email her at Stephanie at nlppower.com. Now, if you do call, this is when the rush usually happens. If you do call, make sure if you get the voicemail, you leave your contact information. If you leave your contact information, you will qualify for the bonuses. If you call and you don't leave your contact information and you call back tomorrow, you will not get the bonuses. Okay? Do yourself a favor. If you know this is going to take your life to the next level, if you're ready to make a change, you just need the steps. Click that link. Do it now. Okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to take a 7-minute break to allow you guys to do whatever it is you need to do to move your life forward. Click those links and get your packages. Ask questions if you need to. When we come back at about 5:47, we're going to go back to the foundations we laid at the beginning of today's webinar. Pardon me. and we're going to continue to teach. And we're going to customize the content for you. We're going to give you the tools and the techniques to do the things you need to do today. Okay? So it is 5:39. It's about to change to 5:40 here. We're going to come back at 5:47. Feel free to type any questions that you might have in the chat. Planet David veterans, if you see questions and I'm out, getting rid of the borrowed tea that I've been drinking through the entire webinar, please feel free to answer it for them. So we'll see you at 5:47. Click that link. Okay, guys, my break, I was back faster than I anticipated. We still got 4 minutes left on our break, so if you guys have any questions pertaining to the package or to content of today's webinar, go ahead and type those in the chat, and we'll see if we can give you some answers. Okay, Mira's asking, how do I access the content? You'll be able to create an account on the David Snyder NLP or NLP Power websites, and you go to the My Products link once you log in, and you'll find all your content there waiting for you. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Jennifer, the price on the website is what you're going to get charged. It's not the other one. The price on the webinar, not the website. Thank you, David, and you have a great name. Thank you, David. You have a great name, too. Right on. Anybody have some questions other than, again, products? Product questions are fine. Can we inquire with Stephanie about a payment plan for the? Yeah, there is a payment plan. It's 3 payments of $397. You have to talk to Stephanie about how merciful she's being. She's usually not, though. Let's see here. But there might be other payment plans that you guys can work out. How about some of our YouTube folks? Any of our YouTube folks have a question? Go ahead and type those in the chat if you want. Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Ask your questions, folks. I'm here. I mean, you don't have to ask about the packages. You can ask about other stuff too. How people build their criteria and values. Great question. People build their criteria and values based on their socialization. Usually starts with their familial, genetically, or the family they're born into. And then they change over time as we get more pleasure and pain from various experiences. But the building blocks of criteria and values, also known as our emotional motivation checklist, are built from the same building blocks as every other belief, and so they can be changed. It's just our criteria and values tend to be older and longer, and therefore they can seem, at least on the surface, to be a little bit harder to change. They're actually not that hard to change. There's just a few dynamics you have to pay attention to. Does genetics play a role? Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing we can't be sure of is what degree. You know, I'm of the mind that we're looking at probably a 50-50 split. You know, 50% genetics, 50% nurture. You know, your genes predispose you to certain things, but it's your life experience that really kind of determines how that stuff is manifested. So I really think that's kind of the best of both worlds. All right, so we're back from our little route into questions. So let's get back to the content of tonight's webinars. We'll come back to this in a minute. And let me turn my camera back on. Okay, we're back. So this is where things start to get really fun. I mean, if you weren't already having fun, you're doing something wrong, right? And I really want you to really think about, are you ready for 20 years of the same life you've led? Or are you ready to make a change? If you are, you know what to do, right? If you're not, okay, that's fine, that's cool, right? When you're ready, you know where to go. But here's my question for you tonight. Now you've seen the foundations, you've touched a little bit of the magic latent inside of your own neurology. What do you want to do with it? What do you want to focus on tonight? You want to clear shit from your past? Do you want to remove a belief? Do you want to program things into your future? What do you want to do? Type in the chat what you really want to focus on tonight. Do you want to remove pain, pain physically or emotionally from your mind and body? What's on your menu? What's your priority tonight? What's going to move your life forward in the quickest way possible? Type it in the chat. Make money, program a positive future, clear shit, okay? Close sales, cold calls, get a lot of people to commit to doing, okay. I actually gave you the secret to that in part 1. Program future, okay. Keep going, guys. Okay. All right, let's do a little bit of all of it. What do you think? So what we're going to play with today is a set of processes that we developed over the years from various. We're very much a multidisciplinary, integrative system. Our systems are constantly evolving. They're constantly being field tested in real-world scenarios with people all over the world. You guys are part of that, believe it or not. If you've ever learned one of the techniques from our YouTube channel, gone out, and it actually worked for you, you're part of that testing process. So energy spinning, magic frame, echo technique, all the things we've brought to the world, we do it because you're our field test. right? We test it ourselves, and we know it works, but you want to make a change. You want to make your life different. And so we share with you pieces of the system so that you can make changes and decide how far down the David rabbit hole you want to go. So let's go into 3 techniques. I don't know if we'll get to all 3 of them on the webinar, but we'll cover them as a system, a microsystem, if you will. We call it the transformational triad. And with these 3 techniques, you can train and change pretty much anything you want. Like I said, we'll probably have time to go deep dive into one of them, and we'll do a lighter, more superficial treatment on the other 2. But the idea is you cycle through them. Think of them like Legos. Each Lego can fit to the other Lego in any sequence or any order you want, depending on what you want to build. And you have an infinite number of each of these types of Legos. So you can build a Death Star, you can build the Queen Mary, you can build the Tower of London, you can build the Millennium Falcon, right? Metaphorically speaking. Does that make sense? If you're with me, go ahead and type in the chat. I'm with you. Cool. All right. So let me pull this up really quick. All right, I'll cover that later. I want to talk about the transformational triad first. Let me find it. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see this picture? Can you read it? Okay, good. So what you're seeing here is what I call the transformational triad. The transformational triad is built of 3 techniques. You have magic frame, energy spinning, and of course color breathing. Now color breathing, as well as most of these other techniques, have levels to them. We're going to talk about level 1 applications today. Magic frame is at the apex of the pyramid because it does one thing really, really well that the rest of these techniques need, and that is it eliminates safety lessons. Okay, you guys remember when I showed you the identity by design? Hold on a second. Where's it at? No, not it, not it, not it, not it. All right. Well, you guys remember that 7-stage identity by design process I showed you earlier, right? And you notice that magic frame was actually the 2nd technique in that system. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this because, and this is the protocol I want you to follow. When you're out in the field and you're applying these techniques, I want you to start with magic frame. Once you get all 3 of these techniques under your belt, you can do them in any order and any sequence that you want. But for most people, your unconscious mind has an agenda. It has a reason for wanting to hold on to crap. Okay? So we're going to talk about magic frame. We're going to do it together as a group, and then I'll answer questions, and then we'll look at these other methods. So here's the first thing I want you to do. You guys remember that little game we played at the beginning of the training where I had you point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, trace the outline of it? You guys remember that? Yes or yes? Okay. That's the first part of the magic frame. What we did actually was something we do in our consultation process called a frame game. And what it does is it gives you, it actually forces you to integrate the different divisions of your neurology into a cohesive system that works synergistically. So we get the internal nervous system working with the external nervous system, the right hemisphere of the brain working with the left hemisphere of the brain, the eyes and the hands connecting all the different brain surfaces in a way that's synergistic, holistic, and maximally communicates. right? Again, go watch immediate pain, the immediate pain relief video. You'll hear a guy going off on all the different parts of the neurology we're lighting up like a Christmas tree. You don't need to know any of that for this to work, okay? So here's how we need to practice this, okay? I need you to think of something that you want to get rid of. Maybe it's something that goes away and comes back, or it's just something minor. Like on a scale of 0 to 10, it's like a 1 to 3. Now I know 90% of you, I'm going to say get a little mouse-sized issue, you're going to pick a Godzilla-sized problem. That's one of the reasons people get screwed up and they can't fix their own stuff. Okay, it's not your fault. There's a bias in your neurology that makes you kind of do that. But if you want to do self-work, you have to flip the script on it. So, for the training together right now today, I want you to think of something that has an intensity level of about 1, 2, or 3 that you want to change. When you have one, type "got it" in the chat. Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, now, as you close your eyes and think about that thing you want to change, I want you to notice that there's a place in your body where those feelings start, where they grow and where they spread from. Take a moment as you become aware of it, point to where you feel it. Now, ask yourself this question, if there was a picture floating somewhere in the space around me that represents this feeling, a picture that I could reach out and touch, where might I reach out to touch it and go there, first impression? Now, take both of your hands, trace the outline of it with both of your hands. Now here's the secret. You can pretend to do this and it'll still work. I can explain that later. Trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands. Let's make sure we've got the right one. Grab it. Make the picture bigger. Notice what happens to the feeling in your body. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? It doesn't matter which one. Just notice which one you do. When you got that, put it back to its original size. Now, pull it closer to your body. Notice what happens to the intensity of the feeling. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? Whatever it is, just make a note of it. Now put it back. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put a big, thick, black frame around that picture. The bigger and thicker and blacker, the better. I want you to feel along the base of that frame, and you're going to notice at the base of that frame are some dials and knobs and switches like on an old style television. I want you to find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. When you find it, turn the knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely, and notice how that makes you feel. When you got that, turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Decide which one you like better, and turn that knob all the way to the white or all the way to the black. Either way is fine. And I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand, and on that whited out or blacked out screen, in glowing golden letters, there were some lessons that this experience had to teach you, positive or negative. I want you to write those lessons on that whited out or blacked out screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, some people know exactly what those lessons are and they just, boom, right on the screen they go. Some people have no conscious idea what the hell to write on that screen. That's okay. Your unconscious mind always knows. So just like automatic writing, let your unconscious mind just write. Now, some people draw squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people are kind of reacting. They go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That's okay. Some people write with both hands simultaneously, like they're writing Chinese and Hebrew at the same time. However your body does it, just keep writing. You may notice feelings and emotions come up. As feelings and emotions come up, write them on that screen. As they come up, they come out. As you feel them, you reveal them. As you reveal them, you heal them. Write all the lessons on that screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now the screen will scroll like a tablet. So you have an infinite, unlimited writing space. Keep writing until everything that's in you is on that screen. When you know you're done. Now, my wife, when she does this, she is the king of overachievers. She writes for 40 minutes straight. Keep writing. When you're done, reach up, grab that frame, shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your unconscious mind moves that postage stamp size square up over the top of your head and back further and further behind you until it disappears beyond the horizon. Feel it sink down beneath the horizon. And as you do that, you know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail or a nail gun is pounding in nails at hyperspeed? Feel it nailed back there for all eternity. And when you know it's nailed back there for all eternity, test it. Try to bring the old feeling back, try to turn the new feeling off, and notice what happens instead. When you're done testing, type what you experienced in the chat. Release, Edie says. Good. Is Edie the only one who did this? Or are you guys still processing? By the way, you might break out in a sweat when you do this. You might feel emotions coming up. That's just the purging process. Let it happen. Don't try to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process take place. Mike says relief. Very good. Tingly parts not really warm and tingly. Oh, my tingly parts got really warm and tingly. Oh, goody for you. Nothing notice, feeling great. Color frame or screwing instead of nailing. Okay. Very good. Okay. So let's diagram the process out, shall we? There we go. Okay. So what do? Let me share my screen here really quick. Jennifer says it's behind me. I'm crying. Are they good? Is it a good crying or a not so good crying, Jennifer? Don't be surprised if your eyes start to water. Released? Yeah. Don't be surprised if your eyes start watering. That's normal. I'm sweating. My eyes got watery. Room looks brighter. Perfect. Well done. Very good. Okay. You don't have to believe it. You just got to do it. Okay? Like I said, in Identity by Design, I'll teach you all the neuroscience. I'll teach you my theory on why this works. It's called holographic memory theory. And it's a way of integrating all the different divisions of the neurology. Vibrational and organic. So, now, I'm feeling very still. Good. Excellent. Notice similarities to kinetic shift. Yeah. Carl was heavily influenced by the spinning technique. I don't want it to come back. Perfect. That's exactly right. Tell Carl Smith I said hi. He's a buddy of mine. He even stole his vest idea from me. I'm going to bust his balls about that one. Okay, so let me show you what... All right, how much explanation do you really want about this technique? Or do you just want to keep fixing stuff? Which do you want to do? I can explain it, or we can just do more stuff. What do you want to do? Let's go fix, explain. Okay, we got one and one here. Do more, do more. I want to do the image. I want more. Okay, explain steps. Okay. All right, let's walk through the steps again. Everything starts with point to where you feel it. Okay? Here's the thing. I think I said this at the beginning of the webinar. I don't know how many of you, I don't know how many of you remember me saying this, but if you, this is something that you really need to write down and understand. Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling that you either want more of, or a feeling you want a whole lot less of. Okay? That's human beings in a nutshell. Okay? Everything we do is in pursuit of a state change, a body feeling change, which usually has an accompanying psychological perspective change. Okay? Because that one simple, profound principle. Here's something I need you to understand. Every single issue that you have has a body location. There is somewhere in your body where a physical sensation connected to an emotional sensation manifests. The moment you point to where you feel it, you access all the parts contributing to that feeling. That's as far as I'm going to go into the explanation. Just know, everything, write this down. Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling they want more of, or a feeling they want less of. Next axiom of Planet David, if you can point to where you feel it, you can change it. Period. I don't care if you're so dissociated from your body that when you point to it, it's out here. The fact that you can point to it means you can fix it. Now, if for some reason you've got an extra layer of filtering that says, I don't know where it is, it's all over, or it's nowhere, pretend you know. Literally, just pretend you know. Make up a spot, it'll be right. And the reason for that, organically, is because the same parts of your neurology that manage this stuff is the same part of your neurology that accesses your imagination and makes things up. So when you make something up, you're accessing the same information from a different path. That's all you need to know. You can do it in real time, or you can just pretend to do it and it'll still work. Don't believe me, just do it. Okay? Let's see here. Is that stuff can be safe? Yes. In fact, Etienne, it can be used very, very well with autistic and Asperger's people, provided you can get them to follow the instructions. Everything that we're teaching here is predicated on one thing, really one thing, and that is the ability and willingness of the subject to follow the instructions. If they have that, you can get any change you want. If they're not willing to do it, if you're not willing to do it, doesn't matter how powerful you are, the magic won't manifest because they're not willing to do it. But when you work together with someone and you both follow the steps to the best of your ability, you don't have to be perfect at all, you'll get change. The only variable is time and intensity, but you will get change, right? And one of the biggest barriers to getting change is when your unconscious mind has an ulterior motive for holding on to it. And that is what Magic Frame is specifically designed to do for us. It's designed to separate the reason for keeping it from the actual problem so we can keep the lesson and let everything else go. That's why when you go back and you listen and you watch the technique again, listen very closely to the words that I used. Keep all the lessons and let everything else go. That is one of the constants that you will hear in every single video where I'm using Magic Frame. Now, other people have been very successful using Magic Frame. Don't use those words, right? But this is what has worked for me. These are the words I'm comfortable with. This is what gives me the biggest neurological bang for my buck. So what do? You point to where you feel it. You reach out and touch it. You make sure it's the right one. This activates and cements in the neurological connections between your exterior nervous system and your interior nervous system. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. Once you've got that, put a big frame around it. Find the knob at the bottom of the frame that whites it out or blacks it out. Take your index finger or whatever hand or tool you want. Write the lessons connected to the issue on the screen. Shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp. Move it over the top of your head and as far back beyond the horizon as humanly possible. Allow your subconscious mind to do it for you and just notice it happening. And notice how the feelings in your body shift and change. Hear the sound of a hammer or a nail banging on that back there so it's impossible for it to come back. And then scan your body. Now, for most people who do this, there will be a 15 to 30 second, sometimes a little bit longer, transition period. Like the body will start to shake or get hot, or their eyes will fibrillate, their eyes will water, they might start yawning. These are all signs of a neurology that's processing data. Let it happen. Just let it happen. Hold this. If you're doing this with somebody else, hold the space for them and let them process it out. When they're done processing, or when you're done processing, have them scan your body, try to bring the old feeling back, notice what happens instead. You're going to get one of three responses. They're going to try to bring it back, you're going to try and bring it back, you won't be able to do it. Option 2, you try to bring it back, the new feelings only get stronger. Option 3, you try to bring it back and you get pissed off and say, I don't want this motherfucker back. If you get any one of those three, you're done, right? If you get any other response, you go into magic frame again, or you go into energy spinning, or you go into color breathing. And you cycle through them until it's all zeroed out. You guys with me so far? Yes or yes? Okay, cool. All right, so before we get into the next piece, I want to just remind you guys that time's running out and we're almost out of those bonus packages. So for those of you who are been on the fence and are waiting, are last minute fence sitters or whatever, now is the time to get your process, right? You know, you get the 14 video, 7-stage Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course valued at $2,497. You're going to get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy home study course, $1,497 value. We're going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation and Mind Control Mastery home study course, $1,497 value. We're going to give you the Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol system. It's a $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. You're going to get the Renegade Reframing, Objection Obliteration, and Speed Conversational Belief Change home study course, valued at $1,950. And we're going to give you, for those of you who are one of the first 17, we're going to give you these super fast action bonuses. Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, valued at $997. The NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group Trial and the 11-year video archive, $1,597 value for free. And we're going to give you that free VIP ticket to the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Live Las Vegas Super Training in August of 2022, August 1st through the 4th, 2022. Total value is $13,325. You can get it all, every single thing we've talked about, including that VIP bonus ticket. The 4 days of live training with me for one low installment of just $997, or if you need a little help for the R word, we have 3 easy installments of $397. Changing your life, adding new income doesn't get any easier than this. We will teach you how to take your life to the next level and help you help other people take your life to the next level. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/MIND. That's www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/MIND. One more time with feeling. www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/MIND. Natasha says, wow, that's some incredible value right there. Thank you, Natasha. And I know you know what we're offering because I know you're familiar with Carl and a bunch of other hypnotic heavy hitters in the real world. So thank you for that. All right, let's get back to training. Oh, Seth redid my math. It says the value is actually $14,235. This is why I'm a hypnotist, because math is not my, I'm allergic to math. But anyway. All right, so everybody clear on magic frame? Yes or yes? Now, when do you use magic frame? Once again, if you're out in the field and you do a process on something and it goes away and then it comes back, you need to magic frame it. If you're working with a problem that has you guys know what a SUDS scale is? SUDS, SUDS. It's like on a scale of 0 to 10, right? Let's say you're out in the field and you're deploying like kinetic shift or like Mike Mandel has mindscaping or whatever process, but for some reason it starts at like an 8 or 9 and it goes to a 6 or 7 and then a 5 or a 4 and it gets like to a 1, 2 or 3 and it just stops. It won't move any further. Chances are you've encountered a safety lesson. You've encountered a hidden agenda the unconscious mind has, a secret reason for not letting that go. This is where you pull out the magic frame. Okay? We go much deeper into the explanations and the reasons why in Identity by Design and Secrets of Personality Transformation, but you don't need to know it right now to fix your own stuff. Okay? So, Let's say you've done that and it drops. Now it's become flexible. It's plastic. You can now deal with it. Now what can we do? Well, one of the fastest techniques out there for just nuking stuff has come to be known as energy spinning. My personal, more accurate name for it would actually be psychosomatic neuromodulation. Right? If you're in the UK, they like to call it, wait for it, applied neurosomatic energetic repatterning, active neurosomatic energetic repatterning. For some reason, the Brits like these long, multisyllabic answers. But for brief, we'll just call it energy spinning. So once again, here's what I want you to do. Okay? I want you to think of something on a scale of 0 to 10, preferably around a 1, 2, or 3, that you want to change. Well, let me ask you this. Would you guys like to get rid of something that's bothering you, or would you just like to have intense pleasure? Which would you rather have? Type it in the chat. Let me know. Fun? Yes? Conrad, what does yes mean? Intense pleasure. Okay. Yes and yes. All right. So, bothering and okay. So, here's what we're going to do. I want you guys, playfulness, perfect. I want you to close your eyes. Again, if you're driving, don't do this. Right? If you want to experience it, it's better to do it if you're standing. So again, turn off the equipment, put the car in park, turn off the ignition, get in a place where you can watch me, follow along, and do the drill and get the skill. Okay? So this is another aspect of the transformational triad. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of a time in your life, remember a time in your life when you felt the most amazing, orgasmic, or sensual pleasure, emotional pleasure, spirit, I don't care what it was. Whatever the best anything you ever had was, I want you to go there. I want you to float back on the wings of time. See what you were seeing. Hear what you were hearing. Smell and taste what you smell and you taste. As you do that, notice that there's a place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, close your eyes, point to where you feel it. As you close your eyes and point to where you feel it, look inside at that feeling with your inner eyes and notice there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. I'm curious, I'm wondering what color or colors that might be for you. First impression. Now, you don't got to type it in the chat. Just notice what those colors are. Whatever they are, I want you to take both of your hands and physically reach into your body. Grab all that colored energy. Take it out. And hold it in your hands in front of you. Make sure you get it all, because sometimes that stuff hides, and we don't want to miss a single drop of this amazing goodness. When you know you've got it, I want you to look at it. And I want you to notice. Did the color change or stay the same, first impression? Whether it changed color or didn't, it's still perfect. I want you to also notice now that it's moving. It's spinning in a certain direction. What direction is it spinning? Trace the direction it's spinning with one of your hands. And now, since this is something we want more of, I want you to physically grab it with both of your hands. And I want you to play with the direction it's spinning until you find the direction that makes it exactly the way you want it to feel at the exact intensity level that you want to feel it. And I want you to spin it like a wheel. And I want you to double the spin, double the speed, double the force, double the magnitude. Keep doubling it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own, until it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. And when you know you've got it, slam it back into the spot you took it out of. Notice the change. Notice it's strong. Notice as this new program works its way deeper and deeper and deeper into your neurology. Any program, any belief, any memory, any experience that's not in harmony with this new set of instructions Your neurology is going to begin to shed. It's going to begin to purge like a snake shedding its skin, like old software being uninstalled by newer, better, more powerful software. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, it's strong, test it. Try to bring that old weak feeling back. Try to turn this new feeling, this wonderful feeling off. And notice what happens instead. Now, many times, as this new program works its way deeper and deeper and deeper into your system, we go through all kinds of interesting transformations. Some people break out in a sweat. Some people get hot all over. Some people get tingly. Some people laugh. Some people yawn. Some people cry. Some people twitch. Some people just feel waves of emotion surging through their body, sensations they love. However your body does it, it's just the universal reset, the neurological upgrade process. There's no need to measure it or manage it or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to turn it off and notice what happens instead. When you're done testing, type in the chat what you experienced. Jennifer says, I feel like it's devouring anything negative around it, or evative. Cool. Amazing. Very good. Great stuff. Excellent. Now, that's the technique for play. Again, it's based on an understanding of the way your nervous system works, that if you apply it, I'm on a high, positive vibe. Very good, Melody. You can do that technique all day, every day. Yeah, you can use it on anything. Great stuff, V. And this should be repeated. You can repeat it as much as you want. I haven't found a top limit to this. Now, let's say we want to get rid of something, right? Same basic process. Jennifer says she feels safe. Perfect. You point to where you feel it. You look at it with your inner eyes. You notice the color. Take all the color out. Notice if the color changed or stayed the same. Notice what direction it's moving. Since you want to get rid of it, you spin it the opposite of what it was. So if it was spinning, let's say you want to get rid of pain, physical pain, right? Works really well on physical pain and emotional pain. This thing works on stuff you wouldn't believe it could work on. Okay? I've healed muscular dystrophy with this. I've healed neuropathy with this. I've shrunk tumors with this. I've gotten people out of fear and phobias. 90-second phobia cure. Boom, done. The guy was so cured he forgot he was afraid. Right? Again, it seems like magic. And it is. Because you are magic. The magic is in you. It's in the integration of your nervous system. You see, we live in a culture that teaches us a reductionist mindset, that to really understand and do something, we need to separate A from B and B from C and C from D and 1 from 2 and 2 from 3. But that's not how the universe built you. Your system is not built around specialties. It's built around, and it's not built around disintegration and separation. It's built around connection, intercommunication, integration. And when you can get all the different divisions of your systems communicating in a common language, you generate an effect in the body that's greater than the sum of the parts, because that's how you're designed to be. Okay? I don't know that I discovered anything so much as maybe rediscovered it. Right? I think I've found fragments of these technologies in many, many disciplines, from very, very old ones to very, very recent ones. But the magic is you. It's not me. So much that I'm doing something to you. I'm guiding you through a process that you are arguably doing with yourself. Okay? But the idea is, I point to where I feel it, I pull it out, I notice the color, I notice the direction. If this is my direction for pain or anxiety or fear, or it doesn't matter. If I make it the opposite of what it was, and I double the spin that way, I'm going to get the opposite effect, right? So let's see here. M says, I ultimately removed all pains from my body doing this process years ago. Yes. I get stories from my students about this stuff, and I'm just blown away. My students have done stuff with these things I never thought would happen. I had one guy from my YouTube channel, you guys. I had one guy was watching my spinning video, and he's watching people. I'm talking about the guy. I think I was talking about the guy whose tumor I shrunk, and he looked down at his arm, I think it was, and he had these lipomas. Do you guys know what a lipoma is? It's just a little fatty nodule below the surface of the skin. And he looked at it, and he looked at the video, and he said, well, can't hurt. And he did a spin on his lipoma. He looked at it, and he went to bed. He woke up the next day, it was gone. He commented on my YouTube channel and said, what the fuck did you do to me? I didn't do anything. I showed you how to do it. Right? And I've got stories like this all the time. Right? Because we believe that, that these things are actually hard to get rid of. And they are if we approach them in the conventional way. But if we understand that every single thing we experience has a structure to it, a process, and we understand how to find those patterns, processes, and structures, we can change it. One of my YouTube guys is asking, can you replace substance abuse with this technique? Yes. Antron is asking about substance abuse. I had one guy, he was actually a recovering heroin addict, and he came to my classes and he learned spinning, and he knew he had to go through rehab and detox and all this stuff, and so he went into rehab. And what happened was, every time he started to have, he'd go into withdrawal, every time a symptom would go up, he'd spin it away. He went through his entire rehab spinning his stuff away, right? That guy's name was Zach. Eduardo says, that's me. I think Eduardo also did some of this. He had some substance. Again, I don't want to speak out of turn. But Eduardo had some similar experiences. I met him a couple of times in trainings, and he came to the trainings because of what spinning did and all these other things. So these things really do have the power to change your life if you use them. But remember something, and this is something I really want to stress. The spinning, the magic frame, the color breathing, they're part of a system. Look what you can do with just pieces of the system. What are you going to be able to do when you got all of it? Right? Whether you get it today now, or you wait and suffer a little more. I don't know. It's up to you, right? When do you want to change? I could actually feel the energy in my hands. Really. Yeah, you will. Absolutely will. There is an energetic component to this that I don't talk about when we're talking about how to program the subconscious mind. We talk about the energetic aspects of it in vibrational influence and hidden laws of attraction. Okay? So just to remind you guys, we're coming up on towards the close. I want to just remind you that when I log off, this magical practice, this magical system goes away. And again, it's the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course. 14 videos, $2,497 value. The Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course. Again, I'm sharing pieces of it, but believe me, when you have the whole system, you will not believe it. Your life will just keep changing. It's a $1,497 value. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation and Mind Control Training Home Study Course, $1,497 value. The Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950 value. And of course, the Renegade Reframing Conversational Belief Change Home Study Course, $1,950 value. You get the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. The NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program Trial and the 11-year archive, $1,597 value. And of course, your free VIP super ticket to the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Super Training, live in Las Vegas, August 1st through the 4th, 2022. $2,250 value. And the nice thing about the VIP tickets is they don't expire. So if next month is too short a notice, just pick up the phone, let Stephanie know, and we will move you to the next Identity by Design. If you want to gift that ticket to somebody, maybe even sell it to somebody, we will, you can do that. If something comes up at the last minute, your boss makes you work, and all of a sudden you can't make it, all you do is pick up the phone, let Stephanie know, we'll move you to another training. If the training sells out, which it actually might, and you want to go at the last minute, present your ticket, we will find you a seat. Okay? Prices, the price points no longer matter. Whether the system is overbooked or not, you can still find a seat. So it's a great value. It's a great way to get your foot in the door and get some personal FaceTime with me and a bunch of really cool people just like you who want to do cool stuff with cool people. Right? If you're one of those cool people who likes to do cool stuff with other cool people, click that link now. All you got to do, it's a $13,325 value, $14,000 if you follow Seth's math. You can get it all for just one low installment of $997, or break it up into 3 easier payments of $397. Just click this link now. Go to www.davidsnydernlp.com /mind. That's www.davidsnydernlp.com /mind. www.davidsnydernlp.com /mind. Jennifer is asking, can you heal people at a distance with this? Yes. However, that's something we teach you in vibrational influence, not in this package. So you will learn the actual physical techniques that you can use on yourself and other people, either through phone or through Zoom or in person. But if you want to do vibrational or energetic remote healing, you can take these same processes, but you need the vibrational influence, remote influence training, and integrate that. So you'll learn what to do, but then how to do it comes at the next level for you guys. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. Questions about energy spinning? Natasha says, I want to learn vibration. Oh, we just did a 7-day vibrational influence extravaganza in Costa Rica. We just got back. It was amazing. Anybody on the call tonight who was in Costa Rica want to tease Natasha about what we did? Who else has questions? Nobody? Bueller? Al says, what technique do you use to improve focusing on things? I cannot focus and it's getting worse. I start with Magic Frame. And then and this is the sequence I would go with. Magic Frame, energy spinning, color breathing. Next, what you want to do is you want to find the grid location where you store focus. Elicit the structure of the focus and the things you want to have more focus with. Change the submodalities, the constructs in your grid to match that. Turn the feeling of focus into a color, breathe the color through your entire body. So the first thing you want to do, if you're having trouble focusing, chances are there's something that is intentionally but unconsciously getting in the way of focus. But there have been many times in your life when you were focused. So if you elicit those resources and you graft those vibrations and the structure of that process to the thing you want to be focused in, your brain will do the same thing. Eduardo says, when should I look at my email for the next one of these? What these are we talking about specifically, Eduardo? You talking about a webinar, or are you talking about your package? No, package. This time one. I think we might have one more this month. Do you need to know the color meanings? No, not at all. In fact, one of the things about this particular technique is the less you know, the better. It actually helps you do it better. See, a lot of us operate under this somewhat limiting belief, and it's largely a pass-through or a remnant from psychoanalysis and psychotherapy training. There's this belief that we have to know everything about a problem before we can fix it. Or that the old theory in psychoanalysis is if we consciously, rationally understand why we're doing the things that are keeping us stuck, that we'll just stop doing it because we realize the irrationality of it. It's not true. It's not true. When it does work, it takes years. Okay? My joke, I make a little bit of a joke, but my belief, and my gnosis, my direct experience has proven this, is that irrational problems require irrational solutions. And so hence you have magic frame and color breathing, and so whatever color I picture, I just breathe through. Yeah. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna point to where you feel something, there's gonna be a color connected to that issue. If you ask your nervous system what color would dissolve it completely, go with your first impression, breathe that color through the affected area, that area will change. Now, you may get different types of effects when you use one color to dissolve another color. In best case scenario, you have, like, say you point here and it's green, right? You ask your neurology what color would dissolve that. It says orange. You take the orange energy, you breathe it through the green energy. Best, in a perfect world, the green energy dissolves and you're happy and you're free. Happens a lot, but there's other things that can happen. I point to this, I say, what color is it? They say, what color would dissolve it? I say orange, right? The area is this big. I take the orange energy, I breathe it through the green, and the green area goes from this big to this big. Well, what I've just done is I've dissolved the first layer. And now I just wash, rinse, repeat the process. What color is this one? Oh, this one's green or gray. What color would dissolve it? Yellow. Okay, I breathe my yellow through the gray. Now the area goes from this to this. You cleared that issue. Now you have another layer. What color is this one? Oh, this is black. Okay, what color would dissolve it? Gold. Okay, I breathe gold through the black. Poof, it goes away. Done. That shrinking effect we call the Russian doll effect. You ever see the Russian dolls? You open one, there's another doll inside it. You lift the head off that one, there's another doll. It's the same idea here. When your unconscious mind is storing stuff, it stores them by what they have in common. And so you'll get layers to issues, right? And so each layer is a color. And each color is dissolved or modified by another color. Now, in real-world trauma resolution and advanced hypnotic regression and holographic regression, we have 7 more levels to this. We have 7 more, even more powerful techniques to take this to ridiculous levels, right? But this first level is what I play with my kids. When they have an ouchie or a boo-boo and it needs to go away, I go, what color is your boo-boo? They go, blue. I said, what color would make it feel better? They go, pink. I said, breathe pink through the blue. Notice what happened. Oh, it feel better. Boom, done. Etienne says, so we need to cycle many times these techniques to heal various layers? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. When you get identity by design, you're going to be introduced to 2 sets of concepts. The first one is called the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. The second set is called energy-centered or body-centered energy psychotherapy. And so one of the concepts that you'll learn about in Identity by Design and Secrets of Personality Transformation is this idea we call the somatic search engine. How many people have ever heard of this thing called Google? Yes? Okay. Do you ever notice that the information Google gives you largely depends on how you ask the question? Well, your nervous system works the same way. How you ask the question will determine what information your autonomic nervous system gives you access to. So by asking better questions, you can create situations in your neurology that allow you to heal things faster. Now, we don't have time to cover that whole process today, but when you get your package, it's all in there, right? There are 6 characteristics of an unconscious response. You need to know those if you're going to do work on yourself. There is a specific protocol called bucket listing in personality transformation that you need to know if you're going to do deep level work on your most heinous stuff. If you don't have the bucket list process, you're probably not going to get as far into the personal transformation work as you could if you did have it. But don't worry, we teach it in personality transformation. We teach it in identity by design. We might even teach it in hidden laws of attraction, but you'll get it 3 times in the package, right? So you'll know how to do that. You'll also learn about what we call somatic address, energy-centered somatic address, somatic bridge, somatic search engine, the three key elements to our change work processes that we do. All this and more. It's all in there, right? So if you've got the package, you're set, right? Plus you get to come and do it live with me in Las Vegas, right? But that's those are things that, again, I can give you pieces, right? I can give you pieces you can take and put to work right away. But if you want the massive change, get the whole systems, right? So, hold on a second. Okay. So are we allowed to cite and quote you in our practice on social media? I always give credit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm a big believer in citing your sources, right? That's why when people ask me, do I have a reading list? I laugh, because Seth is the keeper of our reading list, and it's probably over 150 books long. Yeah, cite your sources and you'll be fine. So many people want to say they invented everything. I don't know. White House of God says, is this thing on? All right. Okay. Anyway, so one last time before we go. You get the Secrets of Personality, Ultra Mind Control Training. You get, again, the home study course, $2,497 value. The online community. You get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy home study course. It's a $1,497 value. Hidden Laws of Attraction, $1,497 value. Stealth Level 1, a Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950 value. You're going to get it free. Renegade Reframing and Objection and Belief Change, Mind-Altering Stuff, $1,950 value. You get the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. The NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group Trial and the 11-year archive, $1,597 value. And of course, that free VIP ticket to Identity by Design, Las Vegas, August 2022. It's a $2,250 value. Total value of the package, $13,325 or more. You can get it all for one low installment of $997, 3 easy investments of $397. Just go to www.nlppower.com/mind, www.davidsnyderNLP.com/mind. I want to thank you all for coming by. Please click that link. Let's get together in Las Vegas and have a hell of a time changing your life and getting on the fast track to the life you want the way you want it. You are a blessing. You're the reason I'm here. In the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it comes the time we have to say so long. Goodbye, everybody. Good night. God bless. Click that link. We'll see you on the other side.